Hi, I'm Christine. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I have a come book shopping with me at a romance-only bookstore in Anchorage, Alaska. All right, so it's actually a few days later and I'm already home now, but I had to do the intro for this video, and so I wanted to set up the video as well because I only had like B-roll of in the bookstore, so I just wanted to like set everything up and let you know what I was doing. All right, we're gonna backtrack a little bit because I have a little bit of a story time and I love a story and love to chat, so let's see. So back in June, right before I was going to Book Bonanza, actually, I got DM'd by multiple friends texted me, sent me TikToks of this new romance-only bookstore in Anchorage, Alaska that was opening up. I had no idea about it. I actually found out, I think the night that it had already opened, as well as like the next day, I started getting texts from friends telling me that it had opened up. And so I was like, oh my God, where have I been? Because I didn't even know this was a thing. I had to find out like through friends, through TikTok, who live in other states, by the way, these other friends, they live in other states. So I do love that about social media and how like far the reach is and how like we can find out about things in our own state that we don't even know about. So anyways, thank you so much to those friends who were reaching out and telling me about this bookstore. So it's called Beauty in the Book. It opened in Anchorage, Alaska. It is a romance-only bookstore. This is actually the second romance-only bookstore that is now open in Alaska that I know of. There is another one that's called the Ivy, I believe, that is in Fairbanks, Alaska, which is further up north, so from where I live at least. So yeah, I was super excited to find out about both of these opening up this year. And the one in Anchorage is a lot closer to me, so that one was like, I could get to it a little bit sooner than later. But then cue the busiest of all busy summers for me, and so it took until now in September for me finally to get to this bookstore because the summer was wild and crazy with book signing, multiple book signing trips. We had friend trips, I had road trips with my family, kind of like camping and fishing trips around Alaska any chance we could fit in. I was out of town a lot. My daughter had a surgery, my family got sick, I got sick. I was busy with work for authors that I work for, and so it was just like a very busy summer of chaos. And like my days that I was able to go to the bookstore, they would have like special events where they were closed for the day or different like business hours that like just didn't fit into my schedule as well. And so finally in September, I was able to make it to this bookstore after hearing about it back in June. So yeah, it's called Beauty in the Book in Anchorage, Alaska, and it was so much fun and so cute. I already can't wait to go back because I went there. They have 2 rooms full of books as well as like kind of like local authors and new releases in the front of the store as well. And so I was able to get a couple things. They also had like swag, like bookmarks and stickers and kind of like keychains and magnets and all the kind of like cutesy book themed gear you could want. They also had like sweatshirts for their store, which I did get one of those. I'll show in a second. And just like a bunch of books, and they get new books in all the time as well, which I love. And they actually work with a lot of authors and get a lot of signed books from either local authors as well as like authors out of state who like send books to them, which I thought was amazing. They also feature like local businesses, which I thought was super cool, local small businesses, I should say, and they have them come in and kind of be like a vendor for the day or for the weekend and just like set up a little table in the front of their store, which was really cool because there was a sticker person there when I was there, and so I got some stickers as well, which I'll show in a little bit. So anyways, then they had their space set up into 2 different rooms. So first they had the pink room, which is like contemporary romance. I think they had historicals in there. They had small town, they had cowboy western, like the Elsie Silver type vibe. They had a little bit of paranormal in there, more like paranormal rom-coms. They had some white shoes. They had LGBTQ plus books, which I love to see, and just like a wide variety. And I liked the range that they had in that room. Oh, they also had sports romance in that room as well. And then in the second room is the dark room. That's what they call it. And so in there, I love the vibe of the room over there. And they had a little bit of everything, which I loved. So they had an entire like monster, alien, sci-fi romance wall. They had fantasy, they had romantasy, they had in there, what else did they have? And that was more of like the forbidden, the age gap, the taboo. They had mafia romances in there. They had white shoes in that room as well. So kind of all of those vibes in that room, which I loved, that kind of like setup. It was very fun, like having a very pink, bright room and then going into that room that was dark and kind of like very like moody and vibey in there. I loved it. All right, so we're just gonna hop over into the B-roll footage that I got of the bookstore. It was like a rainy, perfect Saturday in September. Perfect time to go to a bookstore and shop and look around. So let's get into that footage, and then after I'll be back with my haul from the trip. Bookstore. Like I said, it was so much fun, so cute, so perfect. And now we're gonna get into my haul from the bookstore, like the book shopping day. So I only ended up getting 2 books, and then I got one of their sweatshirts as well that I was talking about, because with the book selection, they had an amazing book selection. But for me, as you can tell, I have a ton of books. And so in this case, a lot of the books I either already have or I've read them and didn't love them enough to buy them. So I do want to go back in the future because I wanted to buy something to support them. So I got a sweatshirt, I got 2 books that I'll show you. And then, like I said, I want to go back because there was a ton of books in there that they had like signed from authors like Victoria Wilder's Bourbon and Lies, which I actually bought from the author's like signed bookshop on her website. I have that copy that I bought on her website, but they had copies there signed from her as well. And I was like, oh, I could have just got that here. They also had like a bunch of Sam Nacosta's books that were signed as well, which was really cool. And so I need to definitely go back and watch their Instagram because they share all the stuff that they get in. So I love that. All right, so the sweatshirt I got is this dark green. I love a dark green, especially like a forest green. So it has a little like book logo here. And then on the back is their giant logo. So it is Beauty in the Book, Anchorage, Alaska. Super cute. I love that they do, I guess they do this style sweatshirt is just like their logo one, and they do it in different colors, and they're like a limited run. So like for fall right now, they have this like dark forest green and I think a black, which might be their standard. But then like for summer, they had like a cool blue and like maybe a pink or lavender. So they kind of change it up seasonally and like make you go back in to get like the color that you want. So I love that. All right, and then the 2 books that I ended up grabbing. So I got Party Favors by Erin McClellan. This is actually a holiday novella. I think there's sapphic in here, I believe. Read this one. Did I read this one? Maybe I haven't. I can't remember. I've read a few from this author of her like holiday-ish novellas. This one, it was on the like local author wall because this author does live in Alaska, which I thought was super cool. So I had to support and grab a little copy there. And then I also grabbed Love and Other Conspiracies by Mallory Marlowe, which I read this one and absolutely loved it this month. It is so much fun. First of all, the cover is adorable. And so in here, the hero is kind of like a conspiracy type of podcast guy. He has like a hit podcast and is super popular. And so the heroine is actually a producer for like a web show type thing, and so she needs to get a new show to kind of keep her job or whatever. So she ends up running across the hero's like podcast in the middle of the night, and she's so pulled in, and she's like, oh my god, I don't believe any of this stuff, but he's like so attractive and has so much charisma, like I need to get him for a show. And so they end up working together, and so they already have great banter right from the start because she's a non-believer and he's like a believer in all of the like monster conspiracy theory cryptid type of situations, and so she is not. And so it's super fun, just their banter, as well as when she gets him into the studio to start filming for the show she wants to do for him. All of his like charisma and charm is just gone. He's just totally lost and doesn't know what to do and kind of freezes up in front of the camera. Whereas when he was in his house filming his podcast and it was just, I think, voice, he was fine. But like now on camera, he like all the charisma is gone. And so she ends up stepping in to kind of banter with him and go through things and have him talk to her while they're filming the show. And then it becomes like supernatural. Not that type of supernatural, which I just realized could go a different way because of the vibe of the book. Not supernatural. It's just like super confident and natural of him speaking to her about everything and then kind of like bantering that I don't believe in these things. He believes in these kind of like Bigfoot type conspiracies and all of that stuff. And so the producers, the other producers end up seeing it and they're like, you guys, you need to be co-hosts and do the show together. And so they end up doing that and it's so much fun. They go on a lot of like little adventures and road trips and one bed situations together. I loved it. I loved their banter and it was just so good. This one is like traditionally published, but honestly, it was so much fun. I gave it 4.5 stars. It was my favorite romance so far of September, and I loved it so much. Such like a fun, fresh delight, like it's a debut by the author, and I was super impressed. I love this one, so I had to grab a copy of this. Oh yeah, and it came with their like little business card. I can't even speak. And then, like I said, I got some stickers from one of the local like artists / small businesses that they had there. All right, so I got like all glittery ones because I was like, yes, please. So I got this fun pink disco ball, and these are just like stickers that I'll put on my Kindle or whatever. Then I got some SJM ones, which as soon as I saw the SJM ones, I was like, yes, please. So this one is Rhysand is the most handsome High Lord. Focus. There we go. When Feyre has to rewrite that multiple times in the book, which if you've read it, then you know. So I had to get that one. Then she had this sparkly You Do Not Yield one as well. So love those and had to get those goodies as well. So that was my really quick haul. So hopefully you enjoyed. It was super fun to go to a local only kind of romance bookstore in Alaska of all places. So I love that. I had so much fun. And like I said, I can't wait to go back and support and shop from them again. If you'd rather leave me an emoji in the comments today to let me know that you watched this video, and maybe leave me, is there a disco ball emoji? Maybe leave me a disco ball since I got this really cute disco ball sticker. So yeah, do that. If you haven't done so yet, make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of my future videos. Also, let me know in the comments if there's any like romance only bookstores near you or if you've been to any. I would love to know and chat about it. So yeah, that's all I have for today. Thank you so much for watching. Like I said, if you haven't liked and subscribed, make sure to do that so you don't miss out on any of my future videos, and I'll see you in my next one.